All right, let's freaking go. Let's get into this. Today, I'm going to be going over my key performance indicators, or basically the habits that I'm tracking right now. And I've evolved that process. So, a little background Noah Cracknell inspired me to write these monthly investor report newsletter articles that you email out basically once a month. You're updating friends, family, basically just shout out to all the subscribers of the newsletter. But basically, I'm just updating everyone on what I've been up to. And I just love this idea because it forces you to condense everything you did, the person you're trying to be. It makes you do it like a, it's almost like a forcing function for reflection, and also just includes people in your life. So it's not necessarily like a brag. It's, I mean, in the most humble way, it's just like, hey, this is what I've been up to. If you're interested in following along, because something that I learned through Rite of Passage, the course I took with David Perel, was just people resonate with story. So why not tell your story? I think that's something that I run into a lot. Is I'm trying to give all the information and I skip out on the personal aspect, but the personal aspect is really what makes the majority of the story. People are checking it out because of this journey that I'm on, versus they just want the information that I track my sleep with an Aura ring. Like you can get that by searching Aura ring on Instagram or whatever that may be. So it's, long story short, basically I'm using this article as a way to update people. And I had these set key performance indicators, and basically that was miles ran, my total steps for the month. It'd be my podcast, how many episodes did I publish, articles that I published, Kasube burritos, was one of my favorite places to get a breakfast burrito, and it most recently went out of business. So no bueno on that front. I did my resting heart rate with my Aura ring, and then I did places that I traveled. And a part of this newsletter, I would type out little short snippets on projects and things that I'm building and what I've been up to. So going into June, I haven't published one yet because we're only halfway through the month. But into June, I changed my KPIs. So I adopted those KPIs just from Noah's article. And really, I guess I guess the biggest thing was Kasube went out of business. So I was like, okay, I'm not tracking these breakfast burritos. And in the grand scheme of things, I was tracking those because it reminded me of just having a great time with my buddies as we trained for the Eugene Marathon. But I guess today I'm going to share how I've adjusted those key performance indicators. And one of the biggest things was I wanted to track the things that really make the biggest difference in my life. And it's not going to be perfect. So throughout these months of February all the way to June, it's just been a filtering process of figuring out what matters, what makes the biggest difference. And then the last part, which I'm excited to share with you guys, is the thing that I'm avoiding. So there's a lot of magic in the thing that you're avoiding, and I'll get into that pretty soon. So just in regards to like tracking, I don't have some fancy way. Honestly, I write it in my Google Calendar, the workouts that I do for the day. I use my big ass calendar from Jesse Itzler to plan and write out some other ideas. And then at the end of each week, I'll go back and reflect on maybe how many videos did I post for PR30, or how many podcasts did I drop that week. So, um, yeah, the process of reflection I've tried to do weekly. And then towards the end of June, I'll have a write up, and then that will drop on my newsletter the first week of July, right around the 4th of July. So um, let's start with training. Workouts, that's the easiest. So I track how many times I've ran along with miles, so distance covered. I'll track how many times I train Jiu Jitsu, so how many times I go to either a 10 a.m. class or the 6:30 class. Basically, all I'm tracking is did I go and did I train? And then the last part is did I lift? So I put in my Google Calendar, whether it's upper, lower, or total body. Honestly, I'm not really tracking sets and reps. I have my program or a rough idea of that training program. Typically, I'll warm up, I'll hit a primary. So my primary will either be back squat or trap bar deadlift. And most of the time, I'll hit like 2 to 3 sets of five. So I'll go like 5, 5, 3-3, 2-2, work up to a solid double. And then on that lower body session, I'll do like glute ham raises, so hamstring development. And then I'll do rear foot elevated split squats. And I'll mix in some other stuff, but those are the big three. So back squat, rear foot elevated split squat, glute hams. And then upper body days, I've been working on dumbbell incline bench, a lot of rows, some look good, feel good, upper body, some glute ham sit ups, but really trying to hit just solid full range of motion strength work, good technique, and that will supplement me on my path. We'll get a little bit more specific on that, maybe closer to the marathon, but really just trying to lift and feel good and get like 3 lifts, 4 lifts a week. But they're either total body, upper body, or a lower body with those exercises I just said. But really, I'm just going to be tracking those total numbers. So how many times I lift this week? 3, 4, sweet. Okay. Same thing with Jiu Jitsu. And then running, I use Strava and my Garmin watch to track all my runs. I'll keep track of times and all of that. But honestly, overall, I'm just tracking distance and miles covered. And then health, or I like to call it lifestyle performance. These are maybe the ones that are, honestly, I think they're harder than training. For me, training comes a lot easier, but I track the amount of sauna sessions that I do in 1 month. And that's a part of lifestyle performance. One, yes, there's health benefits of sauna, but honestly, if I'm hitting the sauna, that means that's a guaranteed time I'm hanging out with my friends. So shout out to Tom, Christian, Drew, Rory. We hit the sauna. You can check out. There's an episode I did that is the Eugene Marathon recap, and it's with the Sauna Boys or the Spa Squad. That's what we call it. But they're my buddies. They have a sauna at the Saltwood Apartments, and I track that one lifestyle performance because that just means guaranteed I was cracking jokes and kicking it with the homies and soaking in some high quality time, just kicking it with the boys. Like what's better than that? And then the other ones that I guess I wouldn't say avoiding, but these really do make a big difference. I feel like they're a lot more challenging. So I use my Oura ring to track my resting heart rate, and I'm also tracking total sleep, so sleep duration. I'm leaning more towards that just because I'm a chronic 7 hours and 15-minute guy, and I want to improve on that. I think I could operate at a higher level if I just got better sleep, and I have the Oura ring, so I might as well use it. The other ones are total steps, so I'll use my Garmin watch. That's just something I've tracked since February, just looking at like total steps across the month. And the last one is drinking. So I don't have a and when I say drinking, I'm not talking about drinking water. I'm talking about tracking drinking alcohol. So we all like, maybe not all of us, but some of us, we like when it's sunny outside in Portland, you go grab a beer with the boys, or you're hitting First Thursday, which was an incredible time. But something that I just want to be more aware of is tracking how many drinks I'm having in a month. This process for tracking, honestly, is not like super high tech. Just whenever I go grab a drink with a buddy, or a group of my friends or whatever that may be, I'll just type it in my iPhone notes. And this one's rough, so it's something that I want to continue to get better at. Um, Not that I'm like drinking too much. I just think I want to get better at being aware of how this may be impacting my life. I know there's a lot on both sides, like don't drink, drinking's okay, blah, blah, blah. So I think my first step is just being aware of how much, if it's like a beer or maybe it's like a margarita or whatever, it's like, how much of that am I consuming in 1 month? Because ultimately that's either impacting me in a positive way, like I'm having a great time with my friends, or it's impacting me in a negative way where it's messing up my sleep. Maybe I'm slow moving the next day. It's not a problem. It's just something that I want to, the reason why I'm tracking it is so I can be more aware of it and make better decisions. That's it. That's it. And that one, it's like, if I'm going, ooh, then it's probably a good thing. Probably should be tracking it. The other KPIs, key performance indicators, I just like keeping track. I like new experiences and just like getting out there and exploring and adventuring with my friends. So I always track like the places I go. So like I'm recording this and we're going to be going to Bend, Oregon for a country concert. It's Jordan Davis. we're going to be going to that soon. So we'll add that to the list of just places I've traveled or explored. And then the last category is this PR30. So it is the creation, or just maybe I need a cooler name than just creation, but basically it's all the things that really set my heart on fire outside of coaching. So how many podcasts have I published? How many articles have I written and published on my newsletter? And then the new addition to June is how many videos have I posted for Press Record 30, because we just started this. I believe this will be day 6. And then the other part is going back to that like idea that maybe you've heard this before, but from Jerry Seinfeld. He said every day he would write a new joke. Then he'd go to his calendar and he'd cross off like an X. So basically it was like, don't break the chain. You got to create a streak. So I'm trying to create a streak with this PR30. And then on the back end, I want to reflect back, be like, okay, how many reels did I create, or YouTube shorts? How many more long form videos like this did I create? And then attach that to building out the podcast and building out my newsletter and getting more ideas that I can write about. Something I'm really excited about, honestly, it's like juicing me up, is Nathan Barry. He's the creator of ConvertKit. I just listened to this podcast, Smart Friends by Eric Jorgensen. He's the author of the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. They just posted a podcast that was all about flywheels and defining actually what a flywheel is, and like how you can apply that to your life. That's an article I need to read. I need to re-listen to the podcast and take some crazy notes, and then probably create a video on this. But going back to this category that's really setting my heart on fire, that I'm super curious about, that I want to continue to create, is how can the podcast support the writing? How can the writing support PR30? How can all of those support short form reels and YouTube shorts, so there's more exposure on the things that I'm creating, and then I can connect with like more amazing people. I can get better feedback, and then I can refine that process and just continue to get better. I'm not trying to get at that level of Sahil Bloom tomorrow. He is running a freaking empire with content creation and all these agencies that he's created. They discuss it in the podcast. I can link that in the show notes as well. Really, I just want to continue to improve in the craft. And if I can expand out my newsletter to 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers, that would be incredible. And it all starts with adding one more. It all starts with recording this video. It all starts with tracking my KPIs, because if I'm not tracking them, then I have no idea. Did I post one reel every day on top of one video every day? Or did I forget? I'm not being consistent. I'm not doing those daily deposits. So it's just something I want to continue to track, to be aware of, not be psycho about it and like always thinking about it. I think it's more just like, hey man, like if I'm giving feedback to myself, it's like if Sahil Bloom or Zach or somebody came up to me and they're like, "Oh, dude, like, okay, you're trying to grow your following. How many reels did you post last week?" And I'm gonna be like, "Oh man, like I don't know. I gotta check my phone." It's like, no, off the top of my head, I'd be like, okay, I posted 5. I posted them on YouTube and Instagram, and I got really good feedback on 2 of them. Okay, why? It goes back to the thing that Zach said. It's you got to post every day on the same platform and get better every time. And the third category of getting better every time, the iteration process, is the most difficult. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the difficulty. And honestly, this video is just another step in the process. So I really appreciate you checking this out, um, checking out all the videos from PR30. And yeah, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your time, you being here and diving into this. If you have any feedback, let me know. Also, if you are tracking your key performance indicators, let me know. You can DM me on Instagram or Twitter, or just shoot me an email. I'm super curious of how other people track their progress, track their performance, how they're connecting their daily deposits and those actions they take daily to this like bigger vision of who they want to be and who they want to become. So if you have some, even if you have one, hit me up. Let me know what it is, because I'm always curious of what other people are doing. And hopefully I'll do another video about this in a couple days or a couple weeks of just updating you on like how my process has been. Maybe I dropped some of these, or maybe I added a couple more. I know the cup gets full. You can't track everything. So that's another part that I'm going to continue to refine this process of what matters, because if I start tracking 100 things, that means none of those really matter. I think there's these key ones that will help me show up and be the best version of me every single day. So thanks again for being here. I appreciate you. Keep stacking those daily deposits and making every day the best day of the year. Until tomorrow. Peace.